That chair's beginning to rock.
Rocking.
Look at that.
Who's doing that? Stop it.
Welcome to WatchMojoUK, and today we'll be counting down our picks for the top 10 spookiest moments on This Morning.
Actually, I did not want to stay here. These two have made me come here. They forced me. I'm absolutely terrified.
Before we begin, we publish new content every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos.
For this list, we're looking at all the times the This Morning team encountered the supernatural. Let us know in the comments if you've ever had a paranormal experience. Number 10. Haunted Teddy Bear. One day in the ITV studios, Holly and Philip were meeting with Mr. Ted, an allegedly haunted teddy bear that growls during the night and torments its owner. Mr. Ted is being kept in a chained-up glass box, but this isn't the first time people have tried to contain him.
Today, let's introduce you to Mr. Ted, whose owner, Debbie Davis, has had to bury him 30 miles away from her house after some strange goings-on.
The owner says she actually buried him outside, far away from the house before. Creepier yet, Holly says that one of the show's producers was taken ill after an encounter with Ted.
Our features producer, Harry, was taken to A&E after spending Friday evening with Mr. Ted. Could he be to blame?
They then send a trio of viewers to spend a night with him, but don't worry, there's a crack paranormal investigator on the case, and she explains the teddy isn't haunted, it's only been cursed. That's all right then.
I wouldn't say haunted is the correct terminology for this bear. I would probably say that the bear may have been cursed or may have been bewitched.
Number 9. The UK's spookiest house.
This is the most haunted house in the whole of the UK. It used to be a witch's prison.
This weird-looking house is apparently the most haunted in the country, and its fearsome reputation has left it on the market for 11 years. The previous owner, Vanessa, actually ran away from the house after just a few years there and has been trying to sell it ever since.
This was one of the main holding cells for the witches, being a medieval witch prison. Oh my gosh.
Does that mean someone's here?
Finally, a deal went through, attracting the attention of ITV, who sent Alison Hammond to do some ghost busting.
Get out. That genuinely says get out.
Oh, don't freak me out.
We find out that the house was a former prison and had been used to lock up women accused of witchcraft hundreds of years ago. That's enough to frighten anybody, whether you believe in ghosts or not.
I thought it was a ghost. Flipping doll on the chair. Freak me right.
Number 8. Doll in the wall. What do you do if you're exploring your new home and you find a horrible little rag doll in a chair with a letter about how it killed an entire family? Contact ITV, of course.
There's the hole.
What's inside the hole?
Dun,
There's
dun,
the doll.
dun.
Jonathan had just bought his house when he found the doll, Emily, hidden in a void behind some drywall. Scarier yet, the connection to Jonathan in Liverpool was horrendous. Was it his broadband? Or was it the strange doll not wanting to be on TV?
It says her name is Emily. She's lived here with the original owners in 1961. She didn't like them very much, so she murdered them with knives.
It seems likely that the doll and the note were probably left by the previous owners as a joke, especially when there were no murders on record and the kitchen was only recently renovated.
There are a couple, but they are not murders that were committed in the circumstances which are described in the note.
Number 7. Exorcist Baby.
You can hear him. He's here somewhere. There he is. Look
I
at this.
swear this is one of the
unbearable.
freakiest things.
Though This Morning enjoys scary stories year-round, there's a definite uptick in October. This segment was about some of the most frightening Halloween decorations on the market, and you too can be terrorised by this zombie baby for about 50 quid.
Up you come. Come on. Come on. I know you're troubled, but there's nothing a bit of TLC won't put right.
Even though it's just a toy, it was still just as creepy as all the genuine haunted dolls the show gets on. Philip treats the zombie with compassion, picking it up while it cries.
Just like real children, he goes on and on and on and doesn't stop.
Just make sure you remember where the off switch is, because it makes quite a racket.
Shut up!
Let's we turn him off. £44 and 70p gets you one of these from Halloween horror props. Where's his off switch? Oh, thank goodness for that.
It's sure to frighten any children or pets half to death. Number 6. The Battersea Poltergeist.
While the discovery seemed insignificant at first, it was actually the beginning of 12 years of torment at the hands of the so-called Battersea Poltergeist.
The Hitching family in Battersea was besieged by a particularly notorious poltergeist back in the 1950s. At the time, stories of the poltergeist made the newspapers, and the haunting lasted for over a decade.
What did Donald actually do to you all?
Oh, it was horrendous. As you said, it started with a key, and that night the noises began.
In 2021, the daughter of the family, Shirley Hitching, came onto This Morning to talk about her experience. She was there to discuss a podcast re-investigating the haunting, and she goes over many of her horrific experiences growing up in a house with a violent entity.
It must have been so frightening. I mean, your father had to give up his job. I mean, this went on, all in all, this kind of went on for over a decade.
Shirley explains that despite the poltergeist, her parents liked the flat and didn't move until they'd been living there for 12 years. Number 5. Scary Mary. Philip and Holly were dressed as Cluedo characters for this item about another haunted doll, Scary Mary. They go live to a museum of haunted objects in Stoke-on-Trent to learn all about Mary.
Well, this is Mary. We class Mary as the most haunted doll in the United Kingdom at the moment. She's an amazing doll. She dates back to around the age of 1951.
Mary's been spotted on camera rocking back and forth in her chair with her eyes rolling around, footage that they actually have on hand.
And as soon as we had her, she started being quite active in our room. She's been seen many times on CCTV where the chairs span from side to side. The chair's rocked, her eyes have moved.
She's heralded as one of the best items the Haunted Museum has on display, and proprietor Craig says the staff like Mary and the sense of mischief she brings to the museum.
Sometimes it can feel a little bit untowards, but most of the time, yeah, we're quite comfortable with Mary's energy that's around.
There are plenty of other grisly objects too, like the haunted portrait and even a coffin. Number 4. Haunted wheelchair.
Well, no, I'm not scared of any of this stuff, but I mean, I sort of happily sit in this, very mindful of the respect and history of the chair.
We saw the owner of a haunted museum, but how about the owner of a haunted antique shop and paranormal investigator? That's who Neil Packer is, and he brought on a choice selection of his most haunted objects, including a gas mask, more dolls, and even a haunted wheelchair.
So where did you find this?
That's from the Antique Centre.
Right, OK. And what's its history, what's its story?
It's from a rehabilitation hospital during the war.
The wheelchair, however, quickly becomes Philip's nemesis. This morning, viewers pointed out that when Philip sat in the wheelchair, it looked as if his leg had disappeared.
And that was the fact that I appeared to get in and lose a leg as I was getting in it.
The studio had another incident too, when the cameras they set up to observe the haunted objects mysteriously cut out at 3 a.m.
This is at 3 o'clock in the morning, 20 to 4 actually. Amazingly, at 3:41, it all went black.
The wheelchair later returned, though Philip still wasn't scared. Number 3. Crying doll.
The doll has started actually crying tears of acid. We're not even joking. It actually had. I was fine up until now. Now I actually want to run screaming.
Much like Mr. Ted, this haunted doll also needs to be kept confined in a glass box. This doll is called Annie, and it's so dangerous it's kept well away from Alison and Holly, largely because of its ability to cry acid and set itself on fire. Yes, really.
Well, according to her owner, Matt, Annie likes nothing more than pulling people's hair, starting fires, and even crying tears of acid, which she's doing right now.
The owner of the doll says 2 spirits are connected to it, hence its strange abilities and bad attitude. And he also brings on some spooky photographs, though we can't see anything too weird in them. The owner is so serious about Annie's possession that he kept her locked in the bathroom overnight before bringing her onto the show.
The 2 attachments she has, they're her owners that died in the house fire that she was found in.
I see.
Number 2. Women marrying ghosts. You may be surprised to learn that this has happened multiple times during the run of This Morning.
You had sex?
Yeah, I had sex with the ghost.
With a ghost?
Yeah. Yes. But you can't wrap your arms around a ghost.
Women come onto the show to explain that they're in a committed relationship with a spirit, with at least one even marrying their ghostly beau.
So, hubby was called Jack.
He was, yes.
Jack, as I understand, was a man of the sea as well.
Yes, he was a pirate.
One got married to the ghost of a pirate, later divorced, while another got engaged and then split up with her fiancé when he started hanging around with other ghosts. She said they were a bad influence. Are they for real, or are they just trying to take advantage of ITV's willingness to keep putting them on TV? You be the judge.
I think it was in love with me too, and that
So
was
he wanted you to end your relationship, which it did.
Number 1. The Haunted Doll. The final and most infamous haunted doll to appear on This Morning has shown up on multiple occasions.
You almost look like, Debbie, you don't want to even look at the doll.
No, I don't.
Are you a bit scared?
I don't even want to touch it.
She's there largely to scare Eamonn Holmes, but seems to have an agenda against men in general. The couple who brought it on insist that the scratches they're getting can only be caused by the doll, and they even say the doll was moving around the night before they came on.
And I looked down and there was a lot of scratches all over my knee. There must have been a dozen or 15 or so, but they looked like cat scratches.
It later came back, and this time they had seasoned ghost hunter Yvette Fielding on to talk about it.
There she is. The creepy doll is
No, that's
back.
Yvette Fielding,
Yes,
darling.
Yvette Fielding.
Though the doll's new owner says the ghost has been scratching her too, Yvette is more sceptical and wants to conduct her own investigations.
Are you spooked by the doll?
Not at all. And I don't think that it is haunted.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from WatchMojoUK and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.